Alrighty everyone, welcome back to the channel. So far the month of July has been pretty good for trading, but especially for the spot back because altcoins are coming back to life. And I have some very good news. I actually think that we are just in the start of altcoin season. I'm also going to show you exactly why, and because of that I am going to make a lot of videos this week only about altcoins. So if you have any requests, please let me know in the comments. I'll be more than happy to check them out. We're going to do a deep dive per altcoin per video, so I'm going to chart them for you, exactly what I'm looking at, what I'm curious in trading, maybe some price targets for the bull run. So I think that can be good fun and also very informative. So again, make sure that you follow the channel, that you like and subscribe, and of course also put your notifications on so that you don't miss future uploads. With that being said, in this video we are going to look at the altcoin market, plus we're going to look at ETH, because that's of course the king or the queen of the altcoins. This is the chart of ETH BTC on the daily. That in itself looks absolutely terrible. We have this falling wedge. Usually that breaks up to the upside. That was also what I was expecting, but we broke to the downside and went lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. And eventually we found some kind of a bottom, and what you see right here is what I posted also in the Discord, which by the way is completely for free. So if you want to join, make sure you click on the link in the description, and there I share all my ideas and trades. So again, this is the ETH BTC chart. You can see this grinding structure here, and then eventually we are making these highs. Also have this box in the screen, and that also coincides with a trend line. Of course, trend lines are always a little bit subjective no matter how you draw them. Here you have a touch point, and then you have here a clear touch point. And I said there in the Discord I would like to see something like a break above and then maybe a backtest, something like this white line, or at least that we eventually are going to take out these highs and then backtest them to go higher. But actually the main key area that I was looking at was this level right here. I want that to be reclaimed because that is really a significant daily high after these highs, of course. And as you can see, we have some very nice pumping going on. That means that ETH is gaining strength compared to BTC. Therefore, you see the ETH BTC here pair on my screen just going higher, higher, higher. So right now, probably time for a little bit of a cool off. Does not have to be a whole lot, but if we're going to backtest this trend line or maybe a little bit deeper, then to go higher, that will be absolutely fine. If we zoom out, you can see it is still very, very early, because again we have a lot to make up for all the drama that we have seen in the last 2 years in the ETH BTC pair. So I think we can still see a major pump to the upside. And then of course the question is, how will that occur? Will we see BTC dumping down and then ETH pumping, or will BTC go sideways and then ETH goes higher? I actually think that the latter is going to happen, that we can see some impulse move up for BTC. We at around now 120k. I think we will not go a heck of a lot higher. If we will, yippee-ki-yay. If we don't, it's also fine with me. But now I really think that we can see a raging bull run on all of the altcoins, because this pair right here, that we are now breaking resistance and we are closing above very important key levels. Okay, now let's quickly head over to ETH, because that has been a little bit of a tough cookie to trade. And the reason why I'm saying that is that C just goes higher and higher and higher, and there's barely any backtest to get in. Let me first go over a few of the things I was looking at to get into. The most simple stuff even did not occur in the last couple of days, or I even have to say last 2 weeks. Absolutely insane. I have mentioned this white trend line, as you can see here, had quite a lot of touch points. And again, also here we're on the daily. You can see we have touch point here and here and here, and then also here a few times on the top of my screen, but none of them later on after the pump started. Yeah, eventually we got another backtest of that area. So again, trend line is always a little bit subjective because you draw it yourself on the chart, but another move down would have been nice. Also have this big box and a SFP level. I was actually hoping the price would do something like this, maybe backtest that SFP back into the box, that trend line, and then to go higher. or that box, which is a big support and resistance level, go higher, then come down again, and then that will be a nice entry. Now you might be thinking, how do you come up with that box? There we have numerous touch points of daily highs and lows, and you can see that that has been support and resistance a lot of times. It was a relatively big area, so actually what I expected the price will do is stay a little bit longer in there, but now actually we just have seen a grind slowly higher, 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 and a pop up, and we have not revisited this box again. Have to say, it reminds me a little bit of the price section we have seen BTC from 20 to 60k, where there was also just no stopping. In the last video I also mentioned that I have only actually two resistance level. That is this one at around 3200, and that's also because we had an awful lot of daily closes and opens right there at that 3000 level, and thought this one is actually quite nice because we don't have a whole lot there other than that these daily levels there are opening and closing, and I think a lot of people are forgetting them. But we also there just busted through. Then I said I have one more resistance level, and that is here 3335, so 3335. It is a fat point of control, and I've said if we are going to break that, most likely we're going to take out these highs right here at 4100. Also here we just smashed through, no backtest whatsoever, and we're just going higher. Absolutely insane. So it is very hard to get in if you were just not positioning yourself, do a Hail Mary and then just come back in 12 hours. There was absolutely no structure in here whatever. So yeah, like I said, no clear backtesting. I have not seen a liquidity sweep of the previous day low, or maybe a backtest of previous highs, lows, a clear backtest of VWAP during a New York session, then to go higher. So very tricky. And like I said, the best thing almost you could have done is just get in, pray that it doesn't dump on you, and just hope that someone else will eventually buy your position. If I'm looking at the macro, then it's not something I use a whole lot, but for example the RSI right now here on the daily has been extremely high, 87. I have seen it during the previous bull run go far into the 90s. I think it was 94, 95, and then to come down. But just to give you an idea, everything above 70 is already seen as overbought, and now at 87 this is extremely overbought, overextended. So if we suddenly are seeing a move down, don't be surprised. If I'm zooming out here on the daily, then actually I have only two levels ahead, and then we're already at the all-time high. That's this 4100 level. You can see we have three major touch points here. This is one, and this is two, and quite fast after we had the second one. So this is actually just a triple high. I actually think we're going to bust through and right away going to go to all-time high, and we will not see an SFP from this area. So this, I think, will not give us a short. We're just going to go higher. And then of course we have the all-time high shy of 5,000. What is the most likely scenario right now, or what can we expect for the next couple days? Well, if this stays strong and there is continuous buying, then I am expecting actually that we will not dump a whole lot. There are two trend lines, and again, take it with a grain of salt, they are subjective, that we could go to. One is the bottom one. You can see that actually it has nice touch points here from the absolute all-time high. Then we have a high here, and then we have a high here, and then it also has a touch point here. So if we would do something like this, like a very shallow retracement and then to go higher, this actually could be a very nice long, but it really depends on what I'm seeing at and around that area. And again, it really depends on when it will hit, if it will be this week or the week after or the week after, because then of course the trend line is also slightly lower. So you need to have something else on the smaller time frames, for example bullish divergence, seeing bullish CVD, local bullish market structure, I don't know, on the 15 minute, on the 30 minute, and then to get in. That actually could be a nice trade, but yeah, you need to keep a little bit of a wider stop loss. And the second one could be almost the exact same scenario, is that we are going higher one more time, taking out that high, then going underneath. Everyone thinks, uh-oh, that's an SRP. Now we're going to see the big retrace. You're going to spend some time at that trend line, and then you're going for the all-time high. This actually would be also a very nasty scenario that no one is thinking of. And also here it is a little bit harder to get in, because imagine if you get this, let me take this out and zoom in. Imagine if you get this, and we have seen this in crypto many times before. You eventually are going higher, taking a level, closing here, then here people are already getting in, and then again you're going to take that low one more time, which is nothing more or less than just another backtest of that trend line, but it is lower than the previous low, and then to go higher. But it would set itself up maybe for some very nice bullish divergences. Okay, then for ultimate targets to the upside, I think, and this is of course a little bit of a guess, that we can see somewhere between 8 and 10,000 for ETH. Why that number? Well, very logically, if you look at what of the major altcoins have been, the major coins have been doing compared to their previous all-time high. Take BTC for example. Previous bull run was at and around 64k. Now we're at 120, so that's a double. Would it be so weird to think that ETH would also make a double somewhere close to 10,000? I think that is nothing out of the ordinary. And the lower you go in the ranking of all of these shitters, the higher they go, because of course their market cap is much smaller. So therefore, to see eventually a 2x, 5x, 10x, 20x is nothing out of the ordinary. For now, I want to see what will happen in the next couple days. Again, these two trend lines, they are nasty to get into, but there would be an ultimate FU scenario because no one is thinking about them. If we are seeing something that makes more sense or that is more technical, of course I am trading it. If we are going back here to the point of control to then test it, it would be a pretty deep retracement. 13%, but hey, mind you, we just run up, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it's more than 50%. Let's just take it approximately here. There you go, 50%. So then to see a retrace of somewhere between 10 or 15%, I think is nothing too crazy. And of course, the most obvious things, if I see a liquidity sweep from one of these lows and then to go higher, of course I'm taking a trade. Or see something at the golden pocket, of course I'm taking a trade. If I do, I will then say it, at least announce it in the Discord. So again, if you haven't joined that, it's completely for free. The link is in the description. And when you're, by the way, down there anyways, also make sure then that you like, subscribe, click on the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. And see you guys very soon again in one of the other alt videos this week. So make sure that you drop your favorite alt in the comments. Thank you guys so much. See you next one. Bye bye.